Okay, starting solids 101. This is just a very simple guide and a basic overview for someone starting solids to begin with. I feel like it's very overwhelming and there's so much information out there. I'm doing a mini series on this, so you can check out the playlist for more in-depth videos on specific topics, but let's get into it. When to start? I feel like the most common age I see is 6 months, although this can vary per baby. Our pediatrician gave us the okay at 4 months. We felt comfortable starting at 4.5. She said the 3 things that we need to check off the list before we were able to do that were, number 1, that baby was showing interest in food. So around 4 months, she started to be really intrigued by us chewing. Like, she would just stop and watch us, especially if we were chewing something crunchy. And shortly after that, she started reaching for anything we were putting into her mouths. The second thing is good upper body strength. She said a good test of this is if when baby is seated, you're able to hold their hips and they can keep themselves up decently well by themselves. Okay, so they don't need to be sitting completely unassisted, but do that test. And then the third thing was just the ability to grab objects and bring them to their mouths. Now, some good first baby foods. I feel like this is very controversial because you're going to see a lot of people talking about iron and nutritional value, and it's not that those aren't important, but up until 9 months, our pediatrician was saying that it's really more for exposure, experimenting, learning, curiosity, exploring textures, exploring this whole new world rather than how much they're intaking. She said that up until 9 months, it's normal for baby to only be having a tablespoon of whatever it is you're feeding them once or twice a day, and after 9 months, that's when like that increment increases again. I gotta double check to how many, to like how much, but it's in there. Also, my daughter's in the skip hop right now, so we're just letting her do her thing. Okay, I don't like it when she's watching me film, so if she's distracted, that's good for me. Sorry for y'all, but it's good for me. But anyways, I know it's hard, but this is a time where actually the pressure should be low. This is just them being able to just kind of do their thing, and we're okay with them doing their thing. It doesn't need to be a time where we're really pressing them eating or making sure that they're getting a good amount of food. You know what I'm saying? But some good first foods are going to be yogurt and eggs. Those are 2 allergens. I just posted a video recently on introducing allergens, so make sure you check them out. Also, baby oatmeal, bananas. Gosh, what was some other ones? Avocado, sweet potato. Avocado and sweet potato were our daughter's first 2, and she liked them both, so that was good. Really, anything that can be soft. Rule of thumb, if you're doing baby-led weaning, which I'm about to get into, you want to make sure that it's soft enough to squish between your fingers, and if you're doing spoon-fed, then obviously it's going to be pretty soft and maybe more like puree, mash type style. So for reference, baby-led weaning is basically the practice that babies feeding themselves, so they're kind of eating more handheld foods versus with spoons. We're obviously talking about more soupy, purees, maybe mashes, that sort of thing. I find that a lot of people actually end up doing something in the middle. That's also what we started doing, and that's just kind of because we were following her lead. So for example, if we load up a spoon and hand it to her, she'll spoon feed herself. But if we hand her a avocado spear, she's not vibing. She'll just look at it like, what the heck? And another thing I'm noticing about my daughter, and actually I would love to know if anyone else has found this, she does not like getting dirty. Like, she is definitely my daughter. She does not like getting dirty, and I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. But if we put food in her hand, she'll dead ass look at us like, what did you just do, and try to wipe it off. So we're still connecting those dots, but that's kind of the difference, and that's why some people favor one over the other. I gotta say, this is not a time to compare and contrast though. If you feel comfortable as their parent with spoon feeding or doing purees for, the first month, maybe 2, then do that. At the end of the day, you know your baby best. But back to the foods, just make sure you're aiming for simple whole foods. You don't want anything with added sugar, and you don't want anything with added salt. Spices are good though. My daughter loves cumin, she loves onion powder, garlic powder, and she loves cinnamon. I know I referenced this earlier, but please go watch my video that I posted on the allergens, because the other thing that you do need to know about starting solids is you will have to introduce allergens. Our pediatrician recommended doing it sooner than later, so I do a whole in-depth video on how we did that. Overall, I think the biggest takeaway from my experience and also just researching, this time is way more about exposure. So don't worry too much about if your baby's getting enough. Sometimes they're going to sit down for a meal and they literally might not have one single bite. There's going to be other times where they sit down for a meal, my baby with yogurt, and we're actually having to get her seconds. Like, it literally varies per the day. It's also not linear. Just because my daughter eats good 2 meals in a row, the next one she might not be into it, even if it's something she likes. Like, they're learning. They're learning, babe. If you're starting solids soon, definitely follow along. I'm going to be doing a whole mini series on this. It's going to be in the solids playlist, which should be down below. I feel like this is a very vast topic, so I'm going to do different videos that go into further depth. And then the other thing I'm doing is doing a Substack on all these topics as well. If you are a visual person, sometimes it's nice to have like it written down. I'm going to be including like certain recipes, examples of a meal plan for a day, and then I'm also even going to be doing a full month of meal plans. It's completely free, but the first one is coming this Sunday, so stay tuned and check that out as well. It is linked in my bio. Happy solid starting!